in agreement. As I was looking at the definition, and it has a couple of definitions of jealousy, and thinking about the question that you posed, and I was like, okay, which kind of jealousy is God? Because he is not envying and covetous, and but the last one says fiercely protective or diligent of one's rights or possessions. And we are his possessions. So he has the right. And so when you said the husband has the rights, that's why I started smiling, because I was just looking at that like, and it said fiercely protective. And that's what God is about us. That's how he is about us. It's not jealous because he worried about somebody taking us from him, but he knows for us not to be with him. It's not good for us. It's not good for us to be anywhere outside of, his will, outside of his vicinity. We should be right here with him because he is going to protect us. So he's not jealous in a sense. And I think a lot of people don't really understand it. So especially when you say that to people who are not believers,
right?
Like, how's God jealous? You know what I'm saying? How God jealous? But I like this definition. I never really looked it up until today. But to say fiercely protective, fiercely protective or vigilant of one's rights or possessions. So if it's yours, you got the right to be jealous. Like you said about the husband, you got the right to be jealous. Ain't even no apology needed. You know what I'm saying? If somebody mess my husband, I ain't got to explain nothing, because you done got out of line. Period, point blank. And that's how I feel about us. Like, they mine, and when I got back on, I heard the woman of God saying, the enemy has never created anything. He's always just, perverted it. And so God created all things. So he have the rights to be jealous. He have the rights. And again, because he got our best interests at heart, and he knows what's best for us. So, it's just like our kids, when they get out of line and we like, you don't need to be over there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have to look cray behind our kids because we know they better here under our protection. And that's how God, he sees with us. But again, he's a loving God. He gives us free will. So, he don't control us like robots. But, he definitely will give us the unction. And then it's all in the word, to persuade us. The word said I was fully persuaded. And I am fully persuaded that I'm where I need to be.
Yes. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yes. I was thinking about, God, how he loves us. And the Bible often compares his love for us as, Christ loving the church, and he tells the husband to love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave his life for them. So when you think about loving, God being jealous, the Lord is like the divine love, his eyes, is only on us. He has eyes only for his spotless bride, because we're his bride. It refers to the church as his bride, And so when you think about a bride, that's like it's an honor. You know what I'm saying? You think about on your wedding day. That day is probably 99.9% for the bride, because basically all the group got to show, because, and he don't really, he ain't really into, all the little details and stuff, that's the bride, because she's excited, she's getting ready to marry her prince, she's getting ready to be swept off her feet, there's her knight in shining armor, all of the fantasies of the bride, and her groom, that's how we are supposed to be excited about the Lord, because we are his bride. And so I was looking at trying to compare the two, trying to get an idea of the jealousy that God has for us. And when you try to, it's like apples and oranges, because like that groom, when you get married, he only got eyes for that bride. You know, it might be a million other women in that audience, but he ain't got eyes for no one but that one coming down that aisle. You know, and that's the way, you know, our eyes are supposed to be on the groom. Christ is the groom. You know, we're not supposed to have eyes for anybody other than him. Anybody that we worship, praise, and honor above him, that's cheating. That's adultery. You know, that's why he always said Israel was going a-whoring after other gods, because anything you put above in the place of him is an idol god. And so when I was looking at his attributes, it said he is so in love with his people. The bride of Jesus Christ is the apple of his eye. You know, he purchased it with his own blood and his own life. And he is dedicated to that bride. He loves her with passion. He is passionately in love with the bride, and he is passionately jealous over her. And I thought about the movie The Passion of Christ. You know, and when you talk about passion, you talk about love, you know, because when you really love something, you're very passionate over that thing. You know, you're very protective of that, of what you love, you know, regardless to whether it's your child or your husband or your spouse. You know what I'm saying? You're very protective over what you love. And because he loves us so much, you know, he's passionate in his love for us to the point where I thought about that Psalm, the 23rd number of Psalm, where he's talking about the sheep and that shepherd. Sometimes when the sheep keep wandering off, you know, sometimes that shepherd has to break its legs, you know, in order to keep it from wandering to its death, you know. But even then, you know, he bind it up, put it on the shoulder, bring it back to the fold, and nurse it back to health. But if God has to, you know, resort to something as drastic as that in order to save our lives, that's the kind of love he has for us. That's a passionate kind of love, you know.
And this passionate love that he has for us, it can look fanatic to others. You know, it can look fanatic and like, what? You know, like even the angels, they like, what dude? What is man? I'm like, what? Why are you looking at them like that? Why you care about them? They be so puzzled by a lot of things in salvation. They so puzzled. They be looking like, what? Why he like, why are you so crazy about them? But God is so unashamedly crazy about us, crazy about his creation. He's willing to do and do and do and do. It's like he loves us. He's never gonna let us go. You know, when we fall, he has the mercy, and he has the mercy says, no, I'm not gonna let you go. You know, it's like he hold on to us like, you know, wow, this passion is like, it's a passion out of control, you know, but it's in control. It's a passion out of your control. It's in his control. The one that knows compassion, the one that is compassion, and it's outside of our thinking. It is it's a knowledge that passes understanding. Hallelujah. So it passes understanding. So when you look at it, you're like, what? Yeah, what kind of love is that?
Because when you think about it, he loves us more than we love ourselves.
Oh yeah, he loves us so much. He didn't want anything to happen to us. He didn't want us to even know anything about evil, although evil already existed. Evil was already in the garden. He just didn't want us to know nothing about it.
Yeah. I was looking at the synonyms of jealous, and it says protective,